Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, we'll be talking about the Washington Commanders possibly being interested in Virginia Tech running back Bhayshul Tuten, and also be talking about some other top guys that they will be meeting with this week that just got reported. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well, so you never miss a video. Let's get right into the video. So I made a video about Bhayshul Tuten a couple weeks ago. But, he's a Virginia Tech running back, former Virginia Tech running back, an absolute stud. I'm sorry. I know he gets, some people talk about the fumbling issues. I don't think it's a huge deal. Obviously, it's something that he needs to work on. But Keim reported, that he quote tweeted a tweet and said that the Commanders have Bhayshul Tuten on their radar. You look at Bhayshul Tuten and his stats, this past year, started off the season very well. Like the first, 8-ish games this season, 9 for 34, which wasn't great, obviously, and a touchdown, also had a receiving touchdown. Then you got 22 for 120, 21 for 115, and 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns against Rutgers, 140 against Miami, 266 and 3 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown, so 4 touchdowns against Boston College. I mean, he's a stud. He had 1 fumble lost on the season and 4 total fumbles on the year. So only 1 lost. So yeah, you would like to see that 4 fumbles in total number be down, but 1 fumble lost isn't the end of the world. He is a super athletic back. He is listed at 5'11", probably a little bit shorter than that. 5'11". And, you can see the weight there. Sorry, just trying to pause the ad so I don't get copyrighted. 209 pounds from New Jersey and, 4.32 yard, 40-yard dash. The vertical leap is there as well. Can receive the ball. He didn't do it a lot this past year. Only 23 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the year before, had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. The offensive coordinator at Virginia Tech this year was just not good at all, in my opinion. The quarterback also, Kyron Drones, was not very good. He was also playing hurt. Bhayshul Tuten was also playing hurt. I think that is something that, is a concern with him, is a durability more than necessarily the fumbling issues. He also can return kicks. Last year for Virginia Tech, had 19 returns for 550 yards, 2 touchdowns returning. So he can return for sure. At the very minimum, he can be your, kick returner. But yeah, Bhayshul Tuten is a running back I really like, and I think would be a great pick for the Commanders wherever they pick, whether it's in the 3rd round or the 4th round. That's kind of where I see his range. Problem is the Commanders don't have a 3rd round pick, and 4th round pick I believe is late, which was a Texans one, I believe, which they got for this year from the Laramie Tunsil trade. Not completely sure there, but obviously, they're probably not going to be able to get Tuten late 4th. So some trades would need to be made, whether it's trading back from the 1st round and getting some later picks, and maybe one of those picks is a 3rd round pick, or maybe trading back from the 2nd round and you're able to get a mid-late 3rd round pick, and you can use that to take Bhayshul Tuten. He's a guy to watch out for. Quick, good elusiveness, able to make guys miss. He also can run through guys. He can run through guys. He plays with an edge. I think Dan Quinn would like that. He's a Dan Quinn type of player. Let's see any other other information on Bhayshul Tuten, just so you guys can see. 22 years old. We'll look at the what's it called? We'll go ahead and look at his draft profile just so you guys can see some other stuff. Vertical jump was 40.5, so that's absolutely insane. And you see some of the other stuff. His NFL comparison is Isaiah Pacheco. All right, let's get into the other reports. So this is from Ben Stanek. They're bringing in several prospects for 30 visits on Tuesday, so that is tomorrow. Running back Ollie Gordon, not going to be a day 1 pick or day 2 pick likely. In my opinion, you got Josh Connerly, who will probably be a late day 1 pick, early day 2. Anthony Belton, don't really know much about him. Donovan Azaraku, Boston College, defensive end, led the nation in sacks, I believe, 17.5. Absolute stud. Would like him in the 1st round if he's there. Maxwell Harrison, the cornerback out of Kentucky, and then Quincy Riley, who I believe is a cornerback from Louisville. I know it was a red jersey. Let's see. Yeah, Louisville. So he's an option to an older, physical cornerback, 6 foot. So probably would be a day 3 pick in my opinion, maybe a late day 2 pick for the Commanders. Maxwell Harrison would be a day 1 pick in my opinion, unless they trade back a few spots into the early second and maybe he falls to that. Anthony Belton, don't really know much about him. We'll go ahead, Belton NFL draft, just to see some information about him. Not a very highly regarded prospect, at least from not a day 1 pick, but you see some of his information there: 5'2", 640, 30 vertical jumps. So the athleticism isn't necessarily there. So I guess he's projected round 3. So could be an option there for the Commanders of a tackle. Played 12 games at left tackle, or 11 starts at left tackle. What college do you play at? Let's see. NC State. So ACC football, 6'6", 336. So he's a big guy from Florida. Option on day 2 for the Commanders. Maybe you could see him sneak into that second round and the Commanders take him because they're the end of the second round. But just another option, another name to throw out there. Maxwell Harrison is another option, cornerback from Kentucky, athletic guy, and is also, someone to watch out for day 1. I don't think they'll take cornerback first round, but, the thing is with the Commanders, they're in a good spot. They can take anyone. I could see them taking a receiver. I could see them taking a guard, Booker. I could see them taking an edge rusher. I could see them taking a receiver. I could see them taking a tackle. Literally everyone besides definitely a quarterback. And then I'm trying to think who else. Really, that's it. Quarterback, I would be a little bit surprised with linebacker in the first round, but tight end is an option too. If one of the good tight ends falls, Warren or Colston, if one of them fall, then they can go ahead and get them. There's a lot of different options for the Commanders where it's not even worth it to watch so much film or highlights on these guys because there's so many different options that they could go ahead and get, where you just don't know. There's probably 10 to 15 guys that the Commanders could go ahead and get in the first round of this draft. If we go ahead and look it up, ESPN Draft Simulator, there's gonna be a decent, let's just go to, we'll go with the Commanders. I was going to maybe go with an earlier team just to see, what are the players available right before us. But we'll go ahead and look at the Commanders. But there's just so many different options for them depending on how the whole board plays out. But I think edge rusher is probably the favorite. Running back, if one of the guys falls, if Omarion Hampton somehow falls, they would take him. So right here you see some of the guys available. Let's look at the players before that. So Mike Green was taken. That's the guy that could intrigue the Commanders. Malachi Starks, another guy that could intrigue the Commanders. Luther Burden, another guy. Ibuka, Hampton are both guys too. Tyler Booker, I was talking about him earlier. Barron is another guy. Shamar Stewart, I would probably stay away from him. You got Jihad Campbell, Colston Loveland. So a lot of different options there. They have a lot of receivers going. I just don't think that'll be the case. What they have 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers going in the first, not including Travis Hunter, and I just don't think that's going to happen here, and that's not even including the last pick. So let's just say Commanders take James Pierce, which I think would be a great pick, and let's see what the draft ended up looking like. Who did the Eagles take? So they took Donovan Jackson, another really interesting guard as well that could be drafted day 1, early day 2, and he's ranked 59, so maybe he'll be there with the Commanders with their second pick, but I think they're going to try to build through the trenches. Adam Peters has talked about that. Reports have talked about that. So, that's offensive line and defensive line. So, if, the best edge rusher, best offensive lineman, I think they'll probably gravitate towards that. But that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.